Right then, welcome back to another vid, an Xbox 360 exclusive vid. Now, actually, when I say exclusive, I don't mean these didn't come out on the PS3, I just mean it's a video exclusively comprising of PS3 games, of 360 games, is what I meant. Great start, brilliant. So, yeah, 23 games altogether, and let's get cracking. So the first three, oh, by the way, let me say, I paid $80 all in for all of these, $80 being around about 55 quid, 50, 55 quid, give or take. And there's probably, I'd say, I reckon 5 or 6 which I really wanted, and I probably would have been prepared to pay at least $10 to $15 each. So when I kind of worked it all out, added it all together, and looked at the other ones, or some of the other ones, I thought that's a really good deal. That's including shipping as well. Now, naturally, there's some absolute drivel here. I mean, genuine rubbish, which if I was offered it for free, I'd probably turn it down. But they came as part of the bundle, and I thought I might as well just show them off, on video for the sake of the fact that they came in the bundles. But, you know, if I hold up a really bad game, don't be thinking I'm really pleased to get it and I'm showing off as if it's like, I bet you're jealous kind of thing. I know there's some rubbish in here, but when we come across those games, we'll just quickly move on to the next one. But there are some really good ones, although I guess taste is subjective, isn't it? Speaking of subjective, these three will be. But there's only 3 of them. They're big box versions, and I'll quickly show you what they are. Now, I bought them not because I'm really into the franchise, although I'm not going to lie and slag it off like everyone else does, just for the sake of it. Now, I won't... First, it's Call of Duty, the first 3 games. I do play it, nowhere near as much as I used to, but I do still play it. I think the reason why, I think the community's terrible, by and large. The back chat, the bad language, the swearing, all that kind of stuff. Well, bad language is swearing, isn't it? Yeah, it's too aggressive as well. I don't like all that. But what I've always said, and what I maintain about Call of Duty, online anyway, is the control mechanism. For me, anyway, it just seems... It's unsurpassed. It seems fluid in comparison to other games, like maybe Battlefield 4, which is a little bit kind of stiff. It doesn't really work, and Call of Duty has that kind of accessibility. It seems to work. It's just a shame that the community, generally speaking, isn't a great place to hang around in. And, of course, the biggest criticism, or as big, is the fact that the game never really evolves. Not enough, anyway. But if you just judge it just for a game and how it plays, the playability, I do think it's really good. But anyway, I'm not defending its corner because I play it less now than I ever have. But it is still decent, especially when you're playing with friends. When you're playing with friends, like any online game, it's a laugh. But I digress. So these 3 games are all kind of big box hardened editions, and for all 3 it was just over $20. I think literally $21.50 or something like that. And I saw the auction. The auction was about to end. There was about 5-10 minutes left. There was one bid on there, and I sneaked in and got it. And including shipping, you really can't refuse it, quite frankly. So the first one up is Modern Warfare 3, a game which I've completed on veteran mode, and I think prestige to the highest, or there or thereabouts, on the PlayStation 3. That's where the PS3 was. It was on the brain earlier on at the start of the vid. So, yeah, and there's the sides. Nice little green green thing line on there, and that's that pretty bland, obviously. And so are the bottoms. So, yeah, pleased to get that. And it comes with the steelbook and whatever else is in there, little extras. The next one is Black Ops 2. Again, all these are the hardened edition. So there on the side, you can tell what it is on the shelf. That's a little bit bland again. These are all kind of like slip covers as well, so they just all come off. And then that opens up and you get your little extras, the steelbook again, and all the rest of it. And then this one actually doesn't come with the game. It's just the box. It's Call of Duty Ghosts. Again, the slipcover comes off. And it is a nice little box, to be fair. And then there's the sides. So, and the bottom. Now, yeah, I knew this didn't come with the game, but everything else is inside. It doesn't really bother me because, to be honest, like I say, 1, I'm not really playing that much Call of Duty anyway. 2, if I was going to play Ghosts, then I'd play it on the Xbox One, and I did have a 3rd one, and I've forgotten it already. So let's move on. So that's that. Now, I was going to... Well, I still may upload more Call of Duty Ghosts COD file vids, as and when I can be bothered. Because I've got the footage on my hard drive. It's just a case of adding new commentary over the top. Whether I kind of just do vlogs over the top of it or whatever, I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So, yeah, let's get them out of the way. And now the rest of the games, these are all kind of like the single games, although one of them's like a double, 2-in-1 game. So the first one up is one. Now this genre, or the game actually, is Tropico 4, little sticker on there. And that's the thing, is like, you know, stickers on, price tags at the back. I can take a lot of these off if I really wanted to. And there's a few which are in a little bit of rough shape, but it's not the end of the world. But this is a game I've wanted to get actually for a while, or at least been interested in buying. And it's like a real-time strategy game. You know, you take control of a city, I guess you kind of build an army up, build your base, take over the world, essentially, that kind of game. And in theory, definitely my cup of tea. It's just a case of getting into it, and maybe not just getting into it, maybe finding the time, making the time for these kind of games, because they're so time-consuming, but I do think they're really rewarding. And whenever I do dedicate and commit that time to these kind of games, I do like them. But it's just a case of, you know, sitting down sometimes for hours at a time, and I'm not really sure if I can ever really be bothered. But I'm going to try. I'm going to make an effort, because, like I say, I do want to make more of a conscious effort to get into these kind of games. So again, front cover, Tropico 4, and of course the spine. It may be different in PAL regions. It may not. Who knows? Next one up is a bit of a cheap and cheerful title, Mercenaries 2 World in Flames, a game which I originally had back in about 2008. Yeah, 2008, good guess. It's essentially, well, I could be wrong, it's been a long time since I played it, but like an open world, run and gun kind of game. Just massive explosions here and there and everywhere. Kind of a little bit like Just Cause, that kind of thing. Now, this one makes me laugh, because I remember the hype. When did this come out? 2010. The hype about this was something special from a lot of people, myself included, because I like the movies. I'm not a massive fan of them, but I like them, so I was really looking forward to this game. And when it came out, it ended up being a little bit average. Now, my biggest complaint at the time, and I actually said this on vid, probably in 2010, when I originally picked this one up, maybe for the PS3 or 360, I can't remember. But I originally said that my biggest problem is when you're zooming down the sights of your gun. No, sorry, when you're trying, when you've got your gun, you want to zoom down, naturally zoom in, but there isn't a zoom button. That was my complaint with it. So you're kind of always firing and shooting from the hip, and it just didn't make sense. It was weird how you couldn't kind of compose yourself. Then again, I sort of looked at it on the flip side, and I thought, well, if you're living in this kind of environment, let me just show you the game. Aliens versus Predator. If you're in that kind of environment where it's very hectic and there's aliens running around, maybe you haven't got time to kind of zoom in and compose yourself. That was the get out clause I was wondering whether the developers were kind of using. But it does seem a bit odd. Now, unless, maybe I'll go back to it now and find out a way of zooming in. Maybe it's there. But that was my biggest complaint with that game. It was like, we were just always shooting from the hip. It just seemed a little bit, something not quite right about it. And just in general as well, multiplayer I thought was very awkward, a little bit broken, and I think they even took the servers down not that long after the game came out. Maybe people weren't really playing it, I'm not really sure. I know I wasn't really playing it. So that's that. Now the next kind of couple of games, certainly this one, and well, the next one, to be frank, are games I'm not really going to play. But, like I say, they came part of the bundle, so what do? They're essentially free. Which is just as well, because I don't think I'd pay a penny for them. So the first one up is Blitz the League. I think this is just an American football game, which I'm therefore going to hazard a guess is an exclusive American game, because these are the kind of games that just would not sell anywhere else. Graphically, it looks extremely poor. 2006, so yeah, this would have been one of the very, very early games. I know you won't be able to tell on the back there, or maybe you might, I'm not sure. But that looks extremely, extremely average, decidedly average to say the least. But it's just amazing, isn't it? You know, when the 360 came out, and you compare the games then to now, PS3 as well, it's just they're an absolute world apart. And that's why I don't think people should judge, you know, the PS4 and the Xbox One. You know, a lot of people say, oh, it doesn't look any different to the latest 360 or PS3 games. Well, no, it doesn't, because it's right at the start of its reign. Give it another 5 years, 10 years, and you'll really see what it can do. But I digress. Maybe I'm just trying to justify myself by buying this rubbish. PlayStation 4. Well, it's not rubbish, to be fair, but it's expensive, and I'm not really playing it, because there's not that much out, is there? But with that said, Watch Dogs is out this month. Should be good. So anyway, next one is a double pack. It's Indiana Jones, The Original Adventures. Probably not going to be playing this anytime soon, but I will be playing this. Kung Fu Panda. Obviously not. Joking. Will not be playing that at all. Next one up is Crisis 2, the limited edition version. Although, again, another one of these limited edition. There's millions of them. How limited is it? It's unlimited edition. Because they're everywhere. Yeah, I remember when I remember when a lot of these games came out. In fact, on my channel there will be a video. I mean, you won't want to watch it now. What's the point? But I did a multiplayer beta kind of review or gameplay just before the game came out. Hence the beta, I guess. And I thought it was all right, but nothing amazing. I actually tried to put it on the other day for 5 minutes, but I got a little bit bored. But it's still all right. It still looks quite nice. Nothing amazing, but you know, it's a pretty decent game. And that's another one I completed on the hardest difficulty setting. But if I remember rightly, I thought the AI was flawed big time. I mean, literally, you could stand just like a few inches away from the enemy, and if you got it at the right angle, and they wouldn't even fire back. It's like they didn't know you were there. So that was really poor, because it meant on the hardest difficulty setting, it ended up just being a piece of piss, quite frankly, in my opinion. Now, this one I tried to put on just because I was curious. I'd heard of it before, but I'd never played it, never owned it before. It's Battlefield Modern Combat 2, or Battlefield 2 Modern Combat. And, yeah, it's basically just kind of like a Battlefield game. And we all know what they're like, just an open world kind of war game, big kind of maps. Now, I went to put it on, and I just couldn't get into a game, so I don't know whether it's like an online-only game, or if there's a campaign. I thought there was a campaign, but I couldn't really get it to work, so not really sure on that one. Maybe I'll try again. Next one up is 007 Quantum of Solace. Now, this has a bit of damage, quite a lot of damage on the spine there, although I think it's just sticker residue. In fact, it is. So that could come off, will come off. But yeah, really pleased to get this, because it's a game which I think Pete's nostalgic. Going back about 3 years, maybe even more, did a gameplay of this. I can't remember if it was PS3 or 360, but I thought it looked quite good then. And being a fan of James Bond, who isn't? Come on. You know, it was a game that I really wanted to get, and it's taken me... I say it's taken me a while to get it. I must have had this before. I must have had it before. But I've got it again. So that's that. Now, this one reminds me instantly, although it was the PS3 version that he played, of Sean, formerly known as Sean Sidious, Wardimus83, all these other channels. And to my knowledge, he doesn't have a channel at the moment, but I know he's been making noises occasionally of coming back. If anyone remembers Sean, he's a top lad, Sean. He's a good lad, but I just don't think he's not really got the commitment for YouTube, because I don't know, when you make a channel, it's there's the game, The Walking Dead. When you have a channel, you've got to maintain it, and I guess sometimes if maybe you're not getting enough views, or at least as many as you think you want to be getting or should be getting, it can put people off, especially if you put a lot of effort into your vids. And I think Sean did put a lot of effort into his vids, and maybe the fact, he didn't say this is me guessing, maybe the fact that he didn't have that many subs probably hindered him a little bit, because he just got a bit fed up with it. But there was one stage where he had, nearly 1,000, and he quit his channel. He shouldn't have done that, man. He shouldn't have done that, because, you had a lot, and I guess when you look back in hindsight, you'll realise you had a lot. But listen, who cares? If you got 1,000 last time, you can get 1,000 next time. Just, if you're going to start another channel, just stick with it. The same goes for anyone out there. If if you're not getting a lot of subs, just bide your time. Eventually they will come, but you've got to interact as well. Interaction is absolutely pivotal. It's crucial. If you don't interact, people are just going to think you're selfish, and all you want is them to watch your stuff, and you've got to watch other people's. But with that said, we all get busy, so it's a balancing act, isn't it? It's just I think ultimately it just comes down to just make the vids you want on your channel. If you get loads of subs and loads of comments, then fantastic. But if you don't worry about it. Just make the vids that you want to make. Anyway, that was a bit of a ramble, wasn't it? Now, this one is a game I bought going back around about 1.5 years ago, give or take. And I sold it not long after, because much like Tropico 4, it was a game it's that kind of strategy game, which in theory I really want to get into, but I couldn't really find the time. Maybe I bought it at the wrong time of the year, Christmas, when it's busy with friends and family and all the rest of it. So I sold it for pretty much what I bought it for, and now I buy it back for, like, obviously a bargain when you break it down price-wise, because it was part of the bundle. Excuse me. And that game is Port Royale 3, Pirates and Merchants. Is it Purchase and Pirates, or whatever. So that's that one. So yeah, again, you probably can't see on the back there, or maybe you can. It's just a strategy game based with pirates and at sea, and all that kind of stuff. What more can I say? Next one up is a game which I was chomping at the bit, big time, to buy when it first came out. Did you see it there? Sneak preview. Really, I can't stress how close I came to buying this game full price for like $50. On more than one occasion, it was in my Amazon basket, and then I'd take it out and I think, should I get it for the 360? And I'd put it in there for the PS3, and I thought, oh, it's actually quite expensive. Should I wait? Because I remember being really hyped for number 2 in this game, in this series, and it wasn't all that, to be honest. So I thought, maybe just wait, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I didn't pay $50 for it, because I put it on the other night. Admittedly, I've not played the campaign, which is meant to be good, but I have played it online, I had a few games, and I thought it was poor, in my opinion. Maybe I just need to rank up, maybe I need to get to grips with the controls, but my instant reaction was not very good. But I am looking forward to playing the campaign, and that game is Far Cry 3. And again, the sides, of course. So yeah, really relieved, to say the least, that I didn't pay full whack for that one. Next up, we've got Fallout New Vegas. Never played a Fallout game. I remember a friend of mine back before I came to America, so 2007 time, 2008, absolutely loved the original Fallout. Was it Fallout 3? Can't remember which one it was, on the 360. And he kept trying to get me to play it, and it looked alright, but I don't know. It never really grabbed me. And this one does look good. Maybe in time I will get into it. But that's that. Transformers the game, so maybe a bit of a cheap and cheerful one here. So that's that. Not a lot more I can add. Certainly not a lot I can add about the next few, quite frankly. First of all, we've got Madden 08, American football. Now, it's funny with American football. I watch way less American football now that I'm in America than what I used to watch in the UK. And I think it's because I've always been a bit of a night owl. And because of the time difference, you know, when a lot of these American football games are taking place, it was kind of midnight, 1, 2 in the morning in the UK, and I was still awake, so I was watching it. But now, you know, it's on during the day, and I'm doing other stuff. If I'm not working, I'm watching the proper football, you know, in the UK, obviously, or anywhere else, Serie A, La Liga, whatever it may be, the Bundesliga. And I just don't really get that much spare time to watch it. I mean, even the Super Bowls, I've not watched all 5 or 6 or however many I could have watched since I've been here. It's not a big deal to me. It's just bizarre, but I used to watch it more over there. Really weird. Now, this one is rubbish. It's Rock Revolution. It's not a patch on things like Guitar Hero, which even that isn't that great, or Rock Band, or is there another one? Even things like SingStar and whatever else is out there. Yeah, it's just like a poor imitation, a very cheap kind of version. Not something I'm going to be racing to play anytime soon. Black Site Area 51. Again, a very cheap and cheerful first-person shooter. But curiously, oddly enough, I often find that I quite enjoy, in a cheesy way, these kind of basic third-party kind of first-person shooter games. Even though they're rubbish, there's something charming about them. Maybe it's because you know they're going to be a bit rubbish, so your expectations aren't very high. Not sure. Next one up is Battle Stations Midway. Bit of damage there, that's not cool, but it's the only one which kind of has damage on there. I think it says Go Online, so I don't know if it's an online exclusive game or what, but it's just the usual kind of World War II battleships and aeroplanes and all that kind of thing. And then there's 2 left. One which is my personal favourite out of all of them, but you might not like it, I don't know, we'll see. But the first one up is Lost Planet 3. Now, I didn't even know they'd made a 3rd one up until I saw this one in the auction. I played the original on the 360. I thought it was alright, but nothing amazing, personally. Never did get round, or not yet got round to playing the 2nd. And here I have the 3rd. So, I don't know what reviews are like. Like I said, didn't even know it came out. When did it come out? It doesn't say. Brilliant. I don't think... Oh, 2013. Right, very new game then. So, that'll be interesting to give a try to. Now, the one that I really wanted out of all of these bundles, it's a game which, funnily enough, it doesn't go for a lot of money, but up until recently, it had always gone for around about $20, sometimes a little bit more. But I've noticed it more and more these days being listed and selling for anywhere from like $10 up until, well, the early 20s still. But for some reason, it is generally going for a little bit less. It's a game which I had first time round. I think it was probably the second game I ever had on the 360, with the first one being Call of Duty 2, which is a classic game and one I've got. In fact, if I do any more COD files anytime soon, I should do COD 2, because even though the online community, there's not many people on there, obviously, it's still a really, really fun game to play. But anyway, I digress again. So yeah, I had this game, really liked it, was desperate to buy it back, and it was just a case of just waiting for it at the right price, because, like I said, it used to go for like $21, $22, and then when I started to see it going for like 10, 11, 12, I didn't want to pay 21, 22, because I knew it was going for cheaper if you kind of bided your time. In the end, I've got it probably for even less than, you know, 9, 10, 11, $12, because it's, you know, arrived as part of the bundle, obviously. Got the words out eventually. And that game is Burnout Revenge. And just a brilliant game. Just go around, just causing chaos. I love the road rage events. That's just fantastic. Just bashing other cars off the road. And it's just so addictive. It's ridiculous. I really, really love it. And if, you know, they talk about bringing games back, you know, rebooting, I think is the phrase that the kids use, isn't it, these days? And they should definitely do this. In fact, this one, Burnout, there should definitely be a Burnout, a new one. There should definitely be a Road Rash game. And there should definitely, and there will be one, but I've been saying this for years anyway, Star Wars Battlefront. And I'm really looking forward to Star Wars Battlefront. The only thing with that is it's made by the same people, it's DICE, isn't it, who make the Battlefield games, Battlefield 4. And that is such a broken game. I've got it on the Xbox One, and it's, when it works, it's really good, but it's usually broken, it's full of glitches, and it's such a shame, and I hope they don't butcher Star Wars. But that's that. So anyway, so what was that, 23 games altogether? A few rubbish ones, but a few good ones. But I think for $80, which is quite a lot of money, but when you break it down, about 50 quid, and like I say, some of these kind of go for $10, $15 each anyway, I think it's a good deal. And if I'd have bought the ones I wanted individually, I would have paid more than 80. So when you look at it like that, especially with even the Call of Duty things, the limited edition, hardened edition ones, they usually go for more than $20 for all three. You're looking at $20 each. So yeah, really pleased with that. So that's that. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with more videos as and when. I'm not going to promise there'll be a video at the end of the week or next week, because you know what I'm like by now. But basically, if you see a vid from me, it means I've had the time to make it. And if you don't see a vid from me, it means I haven't had the time to make it. It's that simple. But until next time, thanks for watching. See you later.